Mark and John, the Dad Podcast crew, sharing laughs, advice, and stories just for you. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Tune in for fun, there's always more. Parenting tips and some dad jokes too. Join the ride with Mark and John, it's all brand new. Mark and John, the dads you'll adore. Laughter and wisdom, come explore. So grab your headphones, don't miss the show. Mark and John, where good vibes flow.
Hello, good day, kia ora, and welcome back to the podcast, Dads. I'm Mark.
And I'm John.
So today's sponsor is
Thistle Bakes, based in Palmerston North, for all your baked treats, for your cakes, brownies, and some Christmas, at this time of year, some Christmas treats. You can find us at the Hokafitu Market in Palmerston North. Find us also on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok at Thistle Bakes.
nice. Why did the Scarecrow win an award, John?
I don't know, why did the Scarecrow win an award, Mark?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
I like that one, that was good.
Do you? It was you that told me, that's why you like it.
Exactly.
Oh. Right, today we're going to go back into John a little bit because after reviewing the footage, and John and I had a little talk after the last show, and we just thought John was being a little bit reserved.
Great.
So we thought that it was probably ideal just to go back in and, like, there's obviously a little bit of a block there. So we want to understand why that is and stuff like that. So we're going into a little bit of more detail. So let's go into what you said, why you said it, and why you never said it, fundamentally.
I still feel like I'm on a kind of healing journey myself, Mark, and that this podcast is helping with that. So again, it's opened up a lot of wounds as well and stuff, and I feel like I held back because I don't want to hurt anybody. That's my biggest thing. But the truth is the truth. I'm not making up any lies. I mean, this happened to me, and for me, I just didn't want to hurt anybody, and it's hard topics to talk about. It's sore. I mean, but again, for us to want to be able to help, we need to be able to open up ourselves, and telling half a story, and it's not going to help anybody.
Talking about it helps you understand it as well, because you know everybody's got a different opinion, different views and stuff, and if you talk about it, that's the idea of the show, and it is like you know, if we want our audience to let us into their life and for us to help them, we need to do the same. We need to be open so that they can kind of see what, you know, traumas we've had, and you know, dive into that. So what do you remember about your younger days? You know, you said that your first memory was your dad leaving. What were you actually thinking then? Like, what was kind of going through your head then?
Oh, jeez.
Was there a reason why he left?
Oh, I can't remember. I didn't know the reasons. Just sometimes you just see something for what it is. He's leaving, and that's like you don't quite understand why, and you're listening to other people's stories and stuff like that. Going on what my mother's story is, that wasn't a good person, out all weekend and just young and daft and just wasn't being a good parent or good partner. I mean, so that's why I left. But I don't know the actual story. That's what I've been told again. I mean, so I don't know 100% no.
So have you had like a relationship with your dad? Like, have you ever, like, in later life, have you ever?
The only time I ever really held for my dad when I was younger was when I get in trouble. My mum was like, I'll phone your dad. I mean,
threatening.
Threatening, and I did act out and stuff like that. I was a bit, I mean, but it's that way as well, Mark. Any attention is attention, and I felt like I wasn't getting the attention I needed for whatever reason. Other kids in the house and family members, I wasn't getting attention in the house. I was for whatever reason, sorry, other family members, sorry, and working, and which is fine. Obviously, you've got to make money. I mean, parents have got to make money, but I wasn't getting attention, so I felt like I was acting it and stuff like that. And the only time I heard from my dad was when I was in trouble.
Mm. So acting it, what kind of stuff did you do to act out?
Cheeky, again, cheek and answering back.
See lots of that way, John.
Aye, answering back, yeah, and not doing what I was told, and just being a wee
Pain.
pain
in the
in
bum.
the- Aye, but it's just because, like, as a kid, you don't understand why you're not getting the attention. I don't know. So I was acting out. I was getting attention in a negative way, but I was getting attention, whether it be getting in trouble or.
So how long was it the gap between your dad leaving and your next brother?
So my youngest is 5 years between us, so I would have been just 8,
So there was basically 5 years of a gap.
at least 5-6 years gap. Aye.
So it was just you and your mum at that time.
Aye, just us. Aye, so it was just me, and we stayed in. It wasn't it wasn't as good as the apartments. The closest we actually stayed in high-rise flats, and
Still love the high flats. Stay in the high flat as well.
nah. So I stayed in the high-rise flats when I was younger. Me and my mother, and we actually had a neighbour who actually helped as well, like, take me to nursery and stuff like that, and she was actually my godmother.
Right, nice. And the introduction of another man to the house, how did you feel about it? So what was your kind of thoughts when there was this sort of man in the house?
I can remember it being pretty good when it first started. It was attention. I mean, there was I don't know if it's just a new relationship with my mother as well. So I don't know. He's got to kind of. There's a need now to kind of interact with me as well because I'm there as well. So it was good. It was pretty good at the start. I can remember just playing and stuff like that. Again, it's just very vivid memories. It's not very clear, but I remember playing and stuff like that. It changed pretty quickly as soon as my mother had my brother.
Your brother. So can you go into? I don't know if we've spoke about it, but can you go into a bit of detail of what changed then and what happened?
Aye, no. What changed was like I felt like I felt excluded. It just wee silly things, like obviously as a new baby, there's a bit of jealousy there when you're younger. You're not getting attention. There's a bit of jealousy there, and for instance, obviously there's a new baby in the room and stuff like that, and I'd be wanting to be involved with that. I'd try to come in and I'd be chased out of the room and stuff, and it'd upset me obviously, and and my mother would be there in our apartment at the time, and she's like, he's just jealous, he's just like, but it's no, it's just you want to be included, you're involved, I'm excited as well, there's a baby there as well now, and there's the feeling of exclusion, not being part of, which I felt, now me being a parent, and I can understand the parent's role better, but I felt as my mother, she should have made me feel part of that group, but I felt I wasn't.
So how long did that last?
Continuously, pretty much. I was never made to feel that he was like my stepfather. It was always like, that's my kids, and you're not. So that was basically since the new baby, my younger brother was there, and then further down the line, my other brother was born. I was never made to feel part of that family.
Because you told me a couple of instances of things that happened. Can you go into a little bit of detail about them? You know, like you said,
as I spoke earlier, my mum's partner at the time, he had issues with drink and stuff like that, and I spoke to you there about me speaking out and stuff like that, and having that negative, looking for attention, so I was being cheeky and stuff like that, and it got to the stage, oh, you're not my dad, so I'm not listening to you. But it's probably stems back to not being inclusive. Because if I was made to feel included, it would have been an easier life for all of us, you know what I mean? But I was never made to feel included, so there was a bit of kind of pushback for me and a bit of fighting going on and stuff like that, arguing and but even very young, and I never spoke about this. I've never really spoke about this, and you actually only found out recently as well yourself, Mark. I was beat up as well by my mum's partner. Actually, to the point the same as you, like that snivelling. And I never went into detail about that, and I never spoke about that again because I don't even know. It's something my mum's never discussed with me, so I don't actually even know if she would know what went on. As a kid, I just knew. Well, sorry, I don't know. I actually really don't know if my mother knows that went on.
So, can I ask you why you didn't want to talk about it?
Because I didn't know if my mother knew about it.
So just because your mum didn't know about it?
I don't know. In my family, Mark, there's a sweep under the carpet mentality. Nothing's good.
It's not that you can't. We're not to say your family. It happens in a lot of families. You know, it is the norm, and like even doing the podcast, people are like, "Oh, you can't talk about stuff like that," and you know, and like, no, we do need to talk about it because one, it's child abuse, and it does happen, but it actually happens more often than you actually think. You know what I mean? And that's again why the podcast for us came about, is because once I started talking about it, you know, I've obviously found out about you, and then you find out about other people, and you're like, Jesus, I'm not the only person that's had that same struggle, and does it happen? That happens regular, and it shouldn't be, you know, and that's a big thing in it. So it's like, you know, and the fact that you do want to open up about it is, you know, so.
No, definitely. There's a lot of things I don't remember. I choose not to remember about my childhood. My brother will say, "Oh, do you remember this?" And I'm like, no. But again, it's probably just trying to block out and stuff like that. But I know get beat up because you're standing up, you're looking for that attention. Maybe I'm being cheeky, and I get beat up, and didn't help that he was drinking as well, probably didn't he? But it wasn't a very good time. It was just horrible, to be honest. But that's what.
So how long was he around for?
So he was around. He was in our lives up until I was about 18, 19. My mother went on and she'd met somebody else. So, but with the beatings and stuff like that, I was quite big for my age, so I kind of stood up to him. And plus, with him drinking stuff like that, it wasn't an easy. It was a mismatch between us. Even at me at 14, 15, I could stand up to him. I mean, so the beatings only really started up to the point where I could actually fight back. And actually, there actually was times. It was all the time we were actually fighting constantly. But he soon discovered that it was in his best interest to fight me because he's not going to win.
And then
he was out of lives about 18, 19. But again, he was never a father to my brothers either.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. So where was he when? Because you were saying you were left alone with your brothers a lot. So where was he then?
He was in the house.
He was there.
He was there. He was having his. He was listening to his music, his drinking and stuff like that, and go and watch your brothers. Go and put them to bed. Go and do this. Go and do that. I don't know why I'm thinking about this now, but it comes to my mind. I think you mentioned it about the heartbeating theme tune. I don't know if people in Scotland or UK will remember that, but it was the same for me. That still gives me PTSD just thinking about that song. But
that's, I mean, it resembles something to you. That's the, you know, because for me, as soon as the end credits came up, you know that's bedtime. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's you know, that's his bed now. You know what I mean? So.
So that just came to my mind there. I don't know, just shows you the similarities as well. But other people will relate to that as well. That for one way or another, whether it was bedtime or the new. I don't know. When you spoke about was it with the beatings with you got as well? Was that after you went to bed as well? So I mean.
Well, we'll obviously we'll do a similar episode. And we'll talk back, but mainly it was because, you know, we were talking and stuff like that, but that I'll talk about that
later on.
But,
Aye, that's fine.
But So what was the kind of financial situation at home?
I mean, we were always fed. I give my mother juice. We were always fed and stuff like that. And we went on holidays and stuff like that, but it was to like my grandfather's and grandmother's friends' caravan. So we went and done that. But it was a struggle to save for that, which was fine. But again, talking about loans and stuff like that, there's always that. But finances were pretty looking back, we were pretty poor. There was no prosperity. There was no kind of forward thinking. There was no plans really to kind of get out of the situation we were in. It was just like, this is the life we live, and that's it, you know.
There was something I wanted to ask you, but we'll talk about. Well, actually, we'll move on to it next. Is why the army?
The army. So I done my work experience in 4th year, and the time I got to the careers, the job pick, the time I got to the classroom that you could pick your work
Subjects.
experience. No, your work experience. All it was left was in the Ministry of Defence in Glasgow or some other one, and I thought, I'll try that. So I went and done the Ministry of Defence, and I met this woman in there. She was like really encouraging, and I've always been interested in having a good career. I wanted to have a career. I wanted to be, as I spoke about earlier in my life, I always felt I wanted to do something else and make something in my life, you know.
So when you talk about you wanted to have a career, like obviously, from what I'm hearing, your mum didn't have a career.
No, it was just working job to job, really.
Your dad and your stepdad didn't have a career.
No, nobody really did.
So what made you want to break that mould?
I just living in poverty and living in the surroundings I was in, and I don't know. I just always had that in me that I knew that I could be better. You know, make a life for myself. Make a future-proof, you know what I mean? Put things in place where life could be easy. I mean, because it was every day was a struggle. It felt like it was a struggle. So when I went to the Ministry of Defence, she was a warrant officer. I couldn't even tell you her name now, but she gave me good advice, and she spoke about her husband, how he joined the army as well, and he was in the signals, the signals in the army, and how he kind of spent 20 odd years out there, and then he managed to come out and get a job with a phone company called BT. I don't even know if they're still going, BT, and he was a telecommunications engineer, and I thought, fuck, that sounds great. I fancy doing that, and getting away from it as well, and getting out there.
Getting away, aye. So when you said when you were in the army, they taught you like personal hygiene and stuff like that. What does that symbolise to you? Why was that an important thing to talk about?
Because it wasn't always, we were never taught it at home, you know what I mean? Our hygiene was a bath on a Sunday night, you know what I mean? The old Vosine bottle, you remember the shampoo Vosine shower? And the cup, and sharing the bath water and stuff like that. Aye, so
I remember that, sharing the bath, oh man. The wee layer at the top, on your lap, I got it.
We were lucky enough the kids went in first, but anyway, hygiene. So we wanted. I was never really taught hygiene, and changing your underwear and getting showered daily, and how important it is. Because when you have a shower, you feel better. I mean, you're a bath, you're clean, you're ready to go. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, I don't know, just these things like that in life, and it does hold you back a wee bit, you know. And so hygiene to me was really important. And then
see, I had the opposite, where like my mum, she was like really house proud and stuff, and like you had to be clean, and like you know, stop me obviously brushing your teeth and all that. But I mean, like the house was immaculate, so I couldn't have anyone over because
Make a mess.
nothing was allowed to be out of place or you know, and stuff like that. And so you're petrified of anything. You moved to anything, it was like, you know what
I've
that led
noticed.
to. You
Uh-huh.
know, like, so.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's similar but different, isn't it?
So, but so the army taught you them, and then obviously your fitness and stuff like that. And
Yep.
that's the grand things I wish I had been taught. You know, the fitness side of things, and you know, because you can see what's happened when you don't. When you don't look after that.
It's with fitness as well. Like, it tells you the discipline of like what you need to eat and stuff like that as well. And so.
Keep going. Sorry, we just had a notification that camera
Camera's
disconnected, but anyway,
We're all good.
hopefully it's still recording, which is.
It's kind of taught you what you need to eat and why you need to eat certain foods as well. And no, it was good. It's the army was really good for the hygiene, the fitness, the discipline as well. Discipline is so important in life, and just discipline for me is if you say you're going to do something, you need to kind of have the discipline to see it through. You know.
So after the army, so you said you finished the army because your gran had passed away.
So when I was in the army, I missed my brothers, especially, and I knew what it was like there, and I was missing them and I was worrying about them and stuff. I'm not worrying about them that they're concerned, like, as in they were in danger or anything. Just worried about them. I don't know. I felt like, as I said, I can't help raise them, help bring them up. So I felt like a connection. So I missed them. So that was in my mind, and the thought of maybe I'd leaving as well and to go back to help them, and then I got the phone call from my mother. I knew my granny had been no well anyway. She had cancer. She was when I was in the army, after your like 20 weeks, you're allowed to go home for a weekend or something. So I was home for the weekend, and I'd seen her, and I'd seen how progressive, like, worse she'd got. My gran, I knew she had cancer. She had it before, and she had got a relapse and stuff like that. Anyway, so I got the phone call from my mother. As soon as I got the message that there was a phone call from me, I knew there was something up. So I got the phone call from saying, your gran's passed away, and that kind of stuff. And then for that decision then, I was like, I need to go, yeah.
So was there any downtime between then and joining the council?
I'd left the army just after turning 17. So there was other jobs I'd done and stuff like that. I'd actually got a job with Royal Mail. Me and my mate had a laugh about it recently. I worked in Arnold Clark. I was a trainee car salesman for a bit.
Alright, so what did you sell, buses instead?
Oh, it was terrible. Honestly, I hated it, man. So I was in Arnold Clark for a bit. I was in Royal Mail for a bit, sorting mail. I'd done other bits and pieces, I can't remember. There was at least 5 or 6 jobs in there, like, just didn't work out, didn't fit for me. And I'd go and see the careers office, and I got the interview with the council. I went well, I got the job, so it was good.
And then you were there for a long time, then?
Oh, a long time, aye. Yeah, 20 years. Wow.
So, when your kids were born, how much, like, time did they spend with, like, your parents and stuff like that? Was there?
When our first child, both Deborah and I were working. So I'm trying to think back. Pretty sure we'd shifts, like, I'd start at a certain time, like in the morning, and then Deborah would start later on in the day. So my mother was just collecting the kids for school and stuff, like nursery at the time. So they probably kind of maybe when they were in nursery, it was maybe just for nursery finishing at 1 up until I was getting in at 5 o'clock at night. And then later on, when Caitlin's a bit older and she was at school, it was 5. It was like 3 to 5, so it was only a couple of hours and stuff like that. So they helped us big time that way, helped us out and stuff like that. So she was involved with our life as well, and they were part of our life big time then.
Good. So did it? So your kids like enjoy spending time with their gran?
Aye, they would have done. Aye, they were pretty young at that age as well. Like, Caitlin would have only been 5 at the time. Sorry, no, should have been nursery times 3, 5. Aye, should have spent a bit of time. Aye, and stuff like that. Aye, so they've enjoyed that. Aye.
So when you decided to move, how supportive were they about the move?
They weren't. I don't think they were surprised. I think they knew that we were wanting to get out and stuff like that. Because obviously, me and Dale had spoken about it for years, for when we first met. Well, no first, but maybe a short time after we'd met, we spoke about moving and stuff. You know.
So they were pretty supportive of your move and stuff like that.
On paper, aye, on face value, aye, but they weren't. No, I don't know really. They were obviously going to miss the kids and stuff like that. But when we had.
Can I take you anywhere, John?
It happens. So I when we chose to leave, we weren't that close at that point. We'd kind of started living our own lives, and we'd moved away, and because we had different values, different beliefs, and we wanted better, you know, and we didn't want to get stuck in that cycle, and which I felt like our parents were living stuck in the cycle, you know. So they were supportive from paper, but they weren't really, no.
So is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to, you know?
As I said there, I feel like I'm glad that I've got this opportunity again to actually go into a wee bit more depth, because I held back in the fact that I didn't want to hurt people. But for my personal set, for me, I need to tell the full story, because as I said to you, Mark, I'm still trying to get 100%, and to get there, you need to be honest, completely. It's no half a story, because I'm still holding on to the things, you know. I'm still holding on to that anger and resentment, and for me to grow, and as much as I have done personally, as a family, my wife, we've grown and stuff like that, and we're in a good place, and our kids in a good place. For me now, personally, I need to be 100% honest, and so I'm glad that I have got a chance to do that. Yeah.
Because the bottling stuff up though causes some anger issues, doesn't it?
Definitely, aye. And for me, that's my first reaction to most situations. I get angry, and then once the anger passes, it's vulnerability. I mean, like, because you're like, why did I get angry there? And you end up you take it out on the wrong people. People are supportive and loving, and my wife can see it in me. Like when I'm in that place, my mother, when she used to talk to me, it was always my full name. She'd give me when she spoke to me, it was my full name, so it'd be John Adams. So when I'm in work or whatever, or people talk about me and they say my full name, it makes my blood boil, honestly.
It's a little trigger, isn't it?
That's a trigger, aye. And yep. And I probably wouldn't want to figure it. It's probably because my name John is so popular. It was so popular in the day. Like most people were called John. So even now when I'm in work and I get copied in an email, people say my full name. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's just to differentiate between the two different Johns, obviously.
That's right, because I used to have somebody I know, he stayed in Castlemilk and he was called John, because like his dad was called John and he was called John, and so he called him John.
Just to change it up, aye. No, but I hated it. I hated my full name, and just other wee daft things as well. I don't like getting woke up and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe because I was younger, you're getting woke up to go places, because we were always up the crack of dawn, and so I hate getting woke up and stuff like that. Just wee daft things, you know. But yeah.
So what were you getting woke up for? What places were you going?
Oh, because my mother and that worked crazy hours. We were up maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe, like, as kids. And the reason I'm laughing, I'll go into it. So we were up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes earlier. and we were getting turned into grandparents and stuff like that. So that was fine. But see, when it came to go to school, it was like 8:30. So I'm wide awake. I'm full of life. And seeing I'm going to go meet my mates, my pals, they're still half asleep because they've obviously not got up with the crack of dawn. So I'm just buzzing and trying to crack jokes and stuff like that. And they're like, going to calm down. It's like 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, but it's like the middle of the day to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm full of life. But I actually lost pals through that because I was too much for certain people. I mean, because I'm wide awake and ready. So it affects you in ways you don't actually imagine it could. Do you know what I mean? Because I probably lost relationships because I was too full of life and try to connect with people and try and. You know?
But that's again, you like there's even now you got to understand different personality types. There is different personality types. So because even like I go up early, as you know, John. Right, I'm up the same 5 o'clock every morning. But I don't class myself as a morning person either. Like I like to get myself together and take time to actually waking up and I like nice peace and quiet in the morning. Whereas like Ronnie's the guru, everybody knows Ronnie's the guru, but Ronnie was always full of life in the morning as well, and I'd be, because I did all the driving, and I'd be driving and Ronnie would be in your ears, and I'm just like, Ronnie, can you just like, but he'd be like, well, we'll have this argument just now, and we'll get it out of the way, and I'm like, I'm not being quiet for any particular, I'm being quiet because it's a morning and I've just got up, and he thought there was something else going on there, but there actually wasn't. It was just the fact that, I'm just not quiet in the morning, So,
And I'm the opposite. I'm a wee bit more quiet in the morning as I've got older, and I've realised I've upset some people because my wife and my kids are not morning people.
No.
Oh, and I'm the opposite. I'm up singing, music's up, turn up, and so I'm getting music up loud, and then I go into the toilet or something. I come back out and the music's down. I'm like, what happened to the music here? And everybody's like, it's too loud. Keep turning it down. And you're like, but I'd take it as an insult. I'm like, I'm listening. I'm upbeat. I want to wake up, get your mood or whatever. But it's no, as you said, it's just different personalities and how they've got their own wee
quirks. That's it. Everybody's got their own wee quirk in it, and that's you've got to. There isn't a lot of acceptance out there for that the fact that everybody's different, and that's part of the problem as well. Isn't it? Is that people are like not accepting that the people can be different and they see the world differently and stuff like that, and and so people make comments and like. That's how they say opposites attract sometimes, isn't it? Because there is that difference, and so.
People are too quick to pass judgment, and they don't quite fully understand that, as you said, they see the world differently, and it's just about communicating with people and understanding.
So what about your diet and stuff like that when you were younger? What kind of food and all that? I know how you love the crispy pancakes. That's your favourite food, isn't it?
So people from Scotland in the kind of late 80s, 90s will remember turkey drummers. Do you remember them? Turkey drummers, no? Bernard Matthews. I don't know if I'm getting
I wasn't posh enough to have them though. I was like a special Sunday dinner for me.
Used to get the wee roast food, Bernard Matthews, the turkey roast.
I remember them, the Farm Foods.
Aye, so that was a Sunday dinner.
I used to love them.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Turkey burgers as well, Bernard Matthews.
No.
I feel like Bernard Matthews was one of the family.
Aye, all Bernie.
All Bernie. So turkey drummers, cheesy. Bernard Matthews again. What's
Bernie cooking up my night? Oh!
Cheesy sandwiches.
Cheesy sandwiches, is that what it's called?
That's actually what they're called, cheesy sandwiches. Aye. People will remember them. What else was there? Turkey burgers, crispy pancakes. Oh my God, I couldn't even look at them. I don't even know if they still make them. Couldn't even look at that now. They actually kind of they ventured out, didn't they? It wasn't just the mince, they turned into cheese ones, and then it was other flavours. Oh no.
So I'm going to ask you a question that, like, is your gran a good cook?
Aye, she was a good cook.
Everybody's gran's a good cook. It's weird, isn't it? How your but your mom's terrible at cooking.
No. My mum, I think she's a good cook. Everything's
Delia Smith or something like that. And
No, but my granddad, I don't know if it was just that generation, but everything was boiled. Everything was boiled. Boiled and shit. It's going to say it's life, but it's
it's like,
deep.
oh, there's a wee bit of bacon in that and the boiling.
Aye.
Stuck in the kettle.
Boiled, boiled chicken and stuff like that. But it was I don't know. It was just always good.
Boiled chicken.
Aye, boiled chicken. Aye, boiled the chicken. Boiled onions and stuff like that.
Full chicken.
Ah,
Full
no
onion.
full chicken. No, it was like legs and wings and stuff like that. Aye, it was boiled. Aye, it was lovely.
Right.
I was brought up as well. Another thing I was brought up in as well was porridge.
Porridge, you know.
My granny used to make good porridge. We used to call it the thin porridge and the thick porridge because my granny's would be like made with milk and stuff like that. So it was drinkable almost. Do you know what I mean? Whereas my granddad's, you could have cut it up and put it on a piece, which she actually did. This is the day. Years ago, they used to have drawers.
I've got ready break my cupboard.
Oh no. No, you can take it. I've taken a break for it.
You want some ready?
No, thank you. No, but years ago they actually did have drawers a porridge, and they'd actually cut it up and put it in a piece and stuff like that. Oh, crazy. But again, that was what you had to do then, the rations and stuff like that. But anyway, so porridge was a staple in my diet. Aye.
I couldn't eat porridge. My gran tried to. I could eat it.
No.
I liked ready break. It was alright. That's why I've got some in the cupboard.
Aye, but that was thinner, it was drinkable, it was milk, whereas when you made porridge and if you left
milk?
it was milky.
What's milk? Milk.
Milk?
People know that. People are like, what's milk?
Milk. Milk.
Milk, lemonade jar.
But aye, so porridge is another one in my diet, and see the thing is, you could we'd have cereal, but there was always a good branded cereal. I don't know if you get it in New Zealand, I'm not sure. Kellogg's, is that in New Zealand?
Oh, you get that everywhere now.
Kellogg's was a good brand, and I used to love the Kellogg cereals. But obviously there's some times when
How good was a variety pack?
the wee kind of 8-pack.
You thought you'd won the lottery when you got a variety pack, didn't you?
Aye, that was a treatment. It was good. There's always the cornflakes left on it. Every day fresh,
was
the
like
Cocoa Pops.
Fruit Loops or Fruit Nut or something.
Oh, do you not like them? No, the wee guy with the wee spaceman on it. No, remember? No. That was the fruit. No, it was. Oh, what was it called again? But anyway, yeah, that was the one that was left. I don't get on your top of it. Ricicles was another one that was left.
Oh, no, I loved Ricicles, man.
Oh, fuck, man. See, opposites attract, man. Oh, I get that.
You're attracted to me.
Oh, in that sense. But, what was I going to say there?
I loved Ricicles, man. It was just like frosted Rice Krispies.
Nah, I didn't like them, man. For me, it was just always a Cocoa Pops. But the variety pack was class, man. I loved them. Man.
That's the thing, you know, obviously back then you couldn't do stuff like that, but see in today's world, you could do an exchange then, couldn't you?
What do you mean?
Well, I could give you the stuff I didn't like and you could give me your Ricicles. We could swap.
Barter.
Aye,
Bit of bartering.
Well, there would be no money involved.
Aye, that's what bartering is, isn't it? Money involved. Yeah, actually, you just swap stuff. Aye.
So you could go, oh, I'll have your Ricicles and you can have my...
Cocoa Pops.
No. Cocoa Pops were the daddy of them all, weren't they, man? You know.
Hold on a minute, what am I getting then? Fuck's sake, Frost, cornflakes.
Oh, do you want the cornflakes?
No.
I don't mind cornflakes.
Ah, well, you can keep them, man. No, not for me. Frosties and Crunchy Nut but the point I was getting in there was, so the Kellogg's was always I enjoyed the Kellogg's, they were good, and then when there was maybe the blend week or the weren't too good, it was the kind of the home branded, the supermarket's own branded ones, and it just wasn't the same. It was just, oh no, I can just remember. It didn't have that crunch. The crunch just
K's Logs.
instead of Kellogg's, K's Logs. Diet was a bit crazy when I was younger. Talking about that, being brought up with that type of food and processed foods, it actually kind of led to issues when I was a wee bit older. Again, listen, I was being fed, but processed foods, which is probably still how a lot of people do, eat and feed their kids, and listen, you got to feed your kids in whatever way you can. But for me, it kind of led to, and I want to make us aware, it led to me having pretty bad stomach troubles, pains in my stomachs and stuff like that, and it led me to having to take medication for it, and I think it's actually led to me. I don't have IBS as such, but I've got similar to it, I think. There's certain foods I can't eat and stuff like that, and I do believe it's because of the processed foods I being brought up.
I don't think I can fully agree with you there, because everybody's different. You know, people say we're the same, but fundamentally we're not, because everybody reacts differently to different things and stuff like that. But aye.
What, you mean just the food and stuff like that, or do you think? What do you mean?
Just the food, even, you know, we spoke about it in a morning walk this morning about people that, you know, like, they could be fit and healthy, but they die early, you know, because, you know, even the mechanics of the human body, you know, like, you know, we're going to talk about injuries and stuff like that, you know, like, because, you know, I had a back injury, and 99% of the time they say moving's the best thing for a back. Well, I was at 1% that it wasn't, and that's how I kept re-injuring myself, was because I was told I need to move and stuff, and I was moving. I was trying to do what I was being told to do, and I was moving, and it made it worse, and it kept making it worse, and I kept having a recurring injury over and over, because they were making me do stuff that was actually re-injuring my back, you know. And I ended up going to a specialist, and that's what he said. He said, "You're that 1% that this doesn't work for," and he's, you know, and that's when I realised that everybody's not the same. And, you know, we all eat and drink different things, and there's certain people that will agree with, and certain people that it won't agree with, and, you know.
But 100%. But I definitely believe the processed foods. I don't know. Don't want to say they're not made for human consumption, but I don't know. For me, it was didn't work, and I noticed it when I gave it to my kids as well when I was younger, because like, my mother still fed it to us when I had the kids, and the kids were sick with it as well, and it just for me, again, personally, for me, I just do believe that it's not good for you. For whatever's in it, it's all the additives and the extras to keep it longer, and it's frozen, and so no, it wasn't. I didn't. I try now. Talking about diet and going full circle now, is a diet we try to eat when we eat. Everything's fresh and made in the house as well, because one, you know what's going into it, and two, it's not that expensive. People think when you've got to go and buy all these fresh ingredients and stuff like that it's going to be really expensive, but it's not. And making good quality food through by just buying the products and yourself and make yourself isn't that hard either. It's pretty easy actually, like making sauces and stuff like that. My wife makes her own sauces, bolognese sauces and curry sauces and stuff like that, and it's not that difficult.
Are
But
we
again,
going to get Debs on to do a wee segment on?
aye, she could do. Aye, she fancied it again, but we're all different. I don't know how she'd feel on camera, but
Well, we'll get you to be like, you know, John Ramsay.
John Ramsay.
I
Aye.
don't know, can you call him?
No, don't call me that. But making home food, it takes a wee bit longer though, and that's the problem. It's timing. People have just not got the time for it, and just bunging stuff in the ovens just for quickness. And I understand that as well, and it is a wee bit cheaper. Like, well, but again, as I said, it's not as cheap as it's not that much more expensive to buy fresh as well. But the biggest thing, and we always talk about it, is time. It takes that wee bit more preparation time.
Right, anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to open up about?
I'm thankful for my journey as well. As much as it wasn't always easy. And again, when I say stuff, it's not to hurt anybody, but I believe what I learned from my parents is what today. What I learned from my parents is the opposite of what you should do, from my beliefs anyway. For time management and whatever else, because I've learnt through the years that all a kid is looking for is your time. And I believe that my parents and that were just out trying to go and work, and I obviously to provide and stuff, but I think that was a form of escaping from my mother as well, because she was struggling. And my mum went on and tell me stuff that I'll not get into because that's her story, but my mum went to tell me stuff about herself that shocked me as well, and but I think it was her way of escaping, obviously providing as well, but...
And that's the whole idea of the podcast, though, is that, you know, everybody's got a story, everybody's been on a journey, and you know, it helps you better manage how you connect with that person as well, though, innit? Because like, if you understand a bit of their struggles and stuff like that, and you know, we were watching obviously that thing with Rod Stewart this morning, you know what I mean, and he came from, he wasn't always a successful person, and you're like, you know, like you can see that people look in from the outside and they see you as in the here and now, and they go, oh, he guy's a millionaire, and but you know, that's just the here and now, that's not where he's came from. You know?
The hurdles he's had to jump in, that's it. And aye, but I get, as I speak to you earlier, listen, your kids, again, I'm talking for personal, but having spoken to other people as well, kids, all they want is your time. Give them your time, honestly. Sit in the floor, play with them. Sit on the floor and play with them, and give them your time, because that's all they're looking for. And I know, obviously, you need to work and you need to provide it. I 100% get that. But time managing, make sure that you've got that time with them, that they're getting that attention and they're feeling connected, because as humans, that's what we need connection, especially with people we love and who's meant to be our teachers, you know, and our guide and our everything, really. Because at the end of the day, your kids are an extension of you. And if maybe they're misbehaving, or they are or they're out of line, or they're being difficult, it's maybe take a wee bit closer look at yourself. Is it maybe something I'm doing that's causing them to be like this? Because kids only want your time and a bit of connection.
But you also can't judge yourself and your kids' actions, though, either. You know, like, there's people that have went on to do horrific things, and that's not a reflection on their parents. You know what I mean? It's not. It's just, you know, that they've had, because everybody's different, and you know, and everybody's minds work in different ways and stuff like that. So
100%. A lot of listen, this is a rabbit hole you can down there, man, with people who've done horrific things. Is there ever any explanation of why people do what they do? But a lot of times it's being bullied because they don't know how to interact with people and stuff like that. But listen, it's a rabbit hole I wouldn't really like to get into.
But again, like, you know, we all watch these programs and telly and stuff, and I love the stuff in the human brain and how it works and all that. But most of the things you see is that people that have been isolated from human contact, you know, kids that again were in school and they weren't that, not like, people don't look at them as maybe normal. I don't know how else to put that, but you know, maybe they're just a little bit different, and people push them aside, and then they're the kid that's left, and it's that isolation. And again, that's why it's good to talk, because we're talking about it, and you know, you've got that interaction, and it's that isolation that causes the issues, because
100%.
then they start to think they are different, and that, again, as you say, you spoke about wanting the attention, but that's maybe their way of wanting attention.
That's what I'm saying. Any attention is attention. I mean, when they're kind of carrying out these horrific things they're doing, is maybe they're getting noticed and look at me and aye. But
But that's why they don't show, like on TV with the sports events, they don't show anybody that runs onto the pitch anymore, because they know that they're doing it for the attention. So the cameras don't give them the attention, because the people are like, oh, there's me on TV.
No, pan away from it, don't they? They come right off it, aye.
Anyway.
No, I'm happy with that. Hopefully that's a wee bit more insightful, and yeah, I'm happy with that. Thanks, Mark.
Cool. Right, nothing else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Right, see you on the next one.
You'll be glad you watched John and Mark's bubbling lads, uncomfortable abound on the podcast stats. Just watching smart lads. dedicated dads, real guys, frank guys. Your life on storytelling guys, real living guys. In conversation every other day, just watch them right up your alley. So bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. Really glad you watch John and Mark bubbling lads. I'm comfortable around them, the podcast dads. Just watch some smart lads, dedicated dads. Real guys, frank guys, real life and storytelling guys. Real living guys. In conversation every other day, just watch them right up your alley. So bring a little ray of light into your day. I ain't ashamed to say I like them. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive in an ordinary way. John and Mark capture everyday challenges in a relaxed manner every other day. Searching life stories, blood talking, hellish feelings daily. Exploring ugly living snakes of the world. It's a devious old world, the game of life worth exploring. Sweat dripping, talk, awkward talk, life stories articulate in a sophisticated way, yet naive